The remains of two anti-apartheid activists in Limpopo are being buried today, and that's where we go to now with Pimani Baloyi, where the remains of those anti-apartheid activists are being buried today, and we understand that she's on standby now to chat to us on this. So Pimani, take us through what's happening now.
Good morning yet again, Mxolisi. Right now, that funeral service is yet to start. According to the program that we've seen, it was scheduled to start at around 10 a.m. But we've seen the hashes that are carrying the mortal remains of those two struggle heroes being brought in. We expect the Minister of Constitutional Justice, Constitutional Development and Justice, Ms. Mamoloko Kupai, to arrive at any point from now. Community members have started gathering. One of them was the Minister of Electricity, who's also an ANC member, Minister Ga-Maupa. He was also taken to the briefing session between government and the families of the deceased. But as you can see around me, Mxolisi, members of the ANC in their ANC regalia are here. Community members are also here, stating that they want to witness this reburial themselves. I'm going to bring in some of them. I'll start with Sis Betty, who says, as somebody who grew up in this community, she grew up hearing legend of that 1985 protest that led to the arrest and later hanging of those two struggle heroes. Sis Betty ke lebona go ya lena a re thomeng mo mamohla re bona poloko ya masalelo ya batho ba babedi. As modudi wa mo Ga-Maupa, le bona byang le fila byang today?
Na ile nna tete moyaba mo village ya Ga-Maupa ward 23 kata sa nomen Mashapa Greater Letaba re mo funeraleni ya Alex Matsepane le Solomon Mawasha ba le ba tshwara ka 1985 ka baka la strike sa uchuba batho, and then ba tshwariwa utwana mo isalere tsebana re bona ba tshweri ba tronkoni until today ba yoboya re tile funeraleni ya bona mara moshomo o se o thome re sa me ba yeni ba utswa le khwaifi re leboa
le bele re lola le tuile ka strike se le bele sa le o munyane ka gore lena le a tsenelela mara le o pula yene ba le buditse yene ka strike se sa o tshua batho sa o dira gore ba babedi ba tshwarewa.
Strike se sa o tshuba batho e be le di taba tsela tša gale tša gore batho ke ba loye ge yona o loyana, and then ba strike ba ta ka motsono wao, and then ba o tshuba o ile wa ba boima ka lebaka la gore batho ba ile ba tšhaba bosiu, ba bangwe ba bana o tšhaba ba etsamaya ba sa tsebile mo ba yana just o tšhaba maphodisa le masole. E be nako ile o sa fitha masole o tshwarwa bota masole e be se maphodisa fela di ile tša ta di poli maphodisa ba eta ba tšia ka maae bosiu ba robetše.
Sa baduti ba mo le bona o ka re o ba contributile mo lela tukuluo o dia gore na ya lena e be le service delivery nyane le bona o ka re le a boelwa ka democracy ena
ka democracy ya ANC re boela kudu ka lebaka la re ana bjale he re ya misata ya borena re re tsamaya ka ra di gravel mara no ka ra misata ya borena re tsamaya ka ra di paving, and le bana ba ya sekolong free education, ona le di bazari bana ba kgona go apply ba ya dikolong mahala. A ona ngwana wa tšhuana yo le rena o dodile ka ya rutreile a re o palelwa go tšwetša dithuto tša ye pele, bana ba rutreya bana ba bereka na ya rena e thaboloile.
Thank you so much, Sis Betty. That is Betty who was speaking in SABC, stating that she grew up hearing the story of that 1985 banning that led to the arrest, stating that as community members, they've always believed that these two struggle heroes were in prison their entire lives. So they're now pleased that they found out that their bodies will finally be brought back for that reburial, stating that as residents of here, she feels they are benefiting from this democratic dispensation, where she says children get NSFAS and are able to pursue further studies, but also she's quite happy with the service delivery that they get. Let me bring in another resident, Sis Irene Mxolisi, who's also a resident. Ma Irene ke lebogana kwa ya lena today ke poloko le fila byang as modudu wa mo
ere ke dumedisa batho ka moka South Africa ka bophara na se e jajile lo re batho ba Matsepane le ba Mawasha ba Pimani justice ya bana ba bona ba ile re ba no mengwa ye mintšhana go wa bo 30 for bo 14 ne ba se ya tsebore ba phela oba udi lane e nna a irene ke re le buisa le bo bona ka gore ba dore ba re ba dimo ba phasiwa ba tseba re ba ya ba jia site ne fio ka re ba se ya tsebore bana ba bona ba mokae
ere apaka protest elani ya 1985 la e ubola lebelisa le o monyane ke a tshepa le kwile en ka yone le ola mo Ga-Maupa
na ke no rego la ka uta ba kherono motho wa Matsepane le wa Mawasha be ba ilo ba jiwa khale ga ba gala di apartheid lu thuba ga ke sina guarantee hore le bo bona ebe e phathu ba do ba khumana ba ba jia ba tsamaile ba bantshi mara ba ngwe ba ile ba boya bo bona ka madimabi na se ba buile ba dilo bulugwa libedi ba ngwe ba re ba lujile bana ba bona ka mai.
Mxolisi, another resident of Maupa here outside Modjadjiskloof, stating that she's pleased because at the time of the arrest, they were arrested alongside other people who came back alive. But these families, these two Matsepane and Mawasha family, didn't know whether their loved ones were still alive or not. But today she's pleased that they are getting closure as their mortal remains have been brought in those two ashes behind me, and we expect their reburial service to start at any point from now. As I stated earlier, the Minister of Electricity, Mr. Ga-Maupa, has already arrived here. I know he's attending the funeral as a member of the ANC because we understand these two struggle heroes were members of the United Democratic Front who were fighting at the time. We are told the apartheid government was imposing tribal authorities in rural areas, bringing in someone to say this from this point going forward will be your tribal leader, and they were opposed to that, and there was a protest that led to the death of certain people, and the apartheid government found that they were the main instigators of that protest, and they were tried at the Zanin court where they were found guilty and sentenced to death, where this trial happened, we understand, in 1985. In 1986 in December they were finally taken to the gallows at Limpopo, where they were hung, and no family member was present during that hanging. No family member was also present when they were given a paupers funeral. We understand this democratic government in 2016 went back, started to investigate how many South Africans went through that as political prisoners. Where were they buried? And they found their bodies, and they found that it was about 130 political prisoners who were hung in those gallows at Limpopo. Right now, after these two burials, about 78 of those 130 would have been buried, with government committing that in the next few years they will be ensuring that the remainder of those political prisoners are exhumed and given to their families for a proper, decent burial.
Right, Pimani, let's leave it there for now. That's Pimani Baloyi, of course, with those conversations as well as a historical background on those reburials.